We're doing a
We're
cold
live.
open.
We're doing a cold open because we're live.
I guess so. Just cold, cold, cold. Like this year's Christmas, especially out towards you guys. We're about to get a bunch of rain out here
It's
in
supposed to be
Cali.
71 degrees tomorrow. I don't know about it being
Oh,
cold out here.
you guys are lucky. We're about to get a rain like El Nino.
I'd settle for
Uh,
rain. I would settle for rain since I'm not getting snow.
I hate rain. I've never been in snow, but I hate rain.
You would
But
hate the snow more.
I would. Okay,
Yes.
I'll take your. I don't even know what I was gonna say, but yeah,
Take
I
my
believe
word
you.
for it.
I'll take your word for it. There we go. Jesus Christ. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to a Steel Conspiracy, where we talk weather and everything else other than sports.
Yes.
Uh, it is, yes, Adelia is rocking the. Is that Grogu or Yoda?
I think it's Yoda, but it could be either.
It could be either. Since there's only two that species we've ever. No, three. There's Yaddle. I forgot about Yaddle.
Yaddle, too, yeah.
Yaddle. Uh, yeah, it's a Steel Conspiracy Christmas where we talk everything but sports, even though this weekend was kind of crazy, especially with the
Crazy.
Steelers. Um, yeah, it's been a week. It's been a week. It's Christmas week. Christmas Eve is in what's it, Wednesday, and then Christmas Day is Thursday, and
Thursday?
then next week is New Year's Eve, and this we're already going to be in 2026.
Can't
You
come
know,
soon enough, in my opinion.
yeah, very true.
I've had a rough year.
Yeah, I've had a bad year.
Yeah,
But it feels like we're just here. That's
it
how we feel
does.
right now. That's how it feels right now. But welcome to the Steel Conspiracy. We're going to talk some Steelers today. We're going to talk some Broncos. We're going to talk um, some takeaways this week from the NFL. Obviously, DK Metcalf. We're going to be talking about him. And then I don't know. I feel like STV is going to devolve into more of fan talk. Kind of what happened this week, but we'll see where it goes. I don't know yet. I know I had one subject, but we'll probably change it up. That's how we do it around here. We just live by the seat of our pants. Um, but Adelia, how are you doing? How are you doing today? You ready for Christmas? Excited?
I still need to wrap everything. I've got a few things wrapped, but I have more things I need to wrap, which I guess I'm going to have to do after the show tonight. But I've been saying that for like a week. I'm just running out of days.
You just
I'm
like
running out of days to postpone this so I don't have to do it because I have to do it.
do you
So,
actually have the wrapping paper already?
yeah, I have the wrapping paper, I have all the stuff. I just don't want to do it.
It's such a pain, and
Yeah,
I'm horrible at wrapping. Because I can't cut a straight line to save my life, and I'll use
neither
like
can I.
30 things of tape on everything. So I
Yeah.
just put it in a paper bag and say, "Here you go, Merry Christmas, have fun," or make my girlfriend do it. But yeah, yeah, it's cooking anything special for Christmas.
We are having essentially Thanksgiving for Christmas. We don't usually do a turkey on Christmas. We usually have like a roast or something. But because of my mom's knee surgery around the time of Thanksgiving, she couldn't cook. So for Christmas, she's cooking the turkey and all of that stuff. So that's what we're
There
having.
you go. It's still good. I mean, what do you people eat on Christmas? Thanksgiving, we know turkey, ham, da da da. But Christmas, like, there's so many different things
Christmas
you can
could
go
be
with.
anything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it could be anything, and there's not really a set. I think other than like sweets, like that's a given.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know,
It's not Christmas
cookies,
without the
gingerbread.
cookies and all that. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe hot cocoa. That's like a thing. But like as far as dinner or lunch or breakfast, actually, did Christmas breakfast it's always been a thing. Eggs, bacon,
Yeah.
sausage, pancakes. But as far as dinner, I don't.
This year, on Christmas Eve, my dad's going to Dunkin' Donuts and getting us donuts for Christmas morning. So,
There you go. There you go. Dunkin' Donuts is a good donut. What's your favorite donut?
well, it's like the only place we have in town that does donuts.
Oh
So,
wow! Oh really?
other than Walmart, yes, the grocery store and Walmart.
Wow!
So it's a very small town I live in, Suge. A very small town.
That is crazy. I have like
Yeah.
7 different donut shops around me, including the famous Donut Man, which is the donuts are famous for stuffing fresh fruit in their donuts. So, like, if it's strawberry season, you get fresh strawberry ones, apple, peaches, things like that. And
Mm-hmm.
then it's a diabetic's worst nightmare because
Oh
you
yeah.
eat, you eat half of it, your blood sugar is like 400. But I have like 3 donut shops down the street from me, like 3 separate ones.
I would I would kill for some homemade donuts. We had a place here in town that did that, but it didn't last.
Wow, that is that. And I complain about Cali, but that is that is crazy because I'm always complaining about Cali, and it's like it's so much, but that's the convenience we have of having 4 donut places just
Yep.
in a general area of like 10 miles from me. So that is wild. Again, still conspiracy where we talk everything but sports today. Apparently, uh,
It's our Christmas episode. We can talk about whatever we want.
we really could. We could just skip all over sports and just like talk about Christmas movies, but we can't do that because there's a Christmas movie list coming out that we did uh, Christmas Eve, I believe.
It's coming out Christmas Eve on the post credits channel. The postcredits.com will get you there quickly. And it's called The Great LGRN Christmas Movie Showdown. We had Shug, we had Ferris, we had Ryan, and we took. You all gave me lists of 10 Christmas movies. I added a few to make up for the duplicate entries, paired them into this or that pairings, and then you guys ranked the winners. I think Ferris still wants to kill me over some of that.
Yes, Ferris was not happy about some of how you set up the rankings and everything. He was very,
The
very
pairings, yeah,
upset
he was
about
not
it.
happy about the pairings. You guys
Yeah.
did the rankings all on
Oh
your
yeah,
own.
sorry. My apologies. We did the rankings. You did the pairings,
I did the
and
pairings.
I was a little upset with some of the pairings um, that you did, and I'm not gonna lie. Like I was because it was like most of the pairings were my movies.
Oh,
Um,
well, I see what I did is I put them all into a list and then randomized them and it didn't say whose was whose. So,
yeah, but well, make sure to check that out. It's going to be awesome. And where can Adelia, where can they find those links for those videos and all that jazz that's going to be on the other channel?
you can go to the website. We're revamping the website right now. So the post credit side of the website is open. The GFBR side of the website is not, but it will be by the end of the weekend. The Let's Get Ready Network.com is where you can find all that. So go check it out.
Yeah, definitely check it out. And if you haven't noticed, Adelia has been hard at work finding cool things to add to the screen. And as you can see, this ticker, that is awesome. It gives us the scores. It actually starts in live updates with Monday night's game, I believe.
Yeah,
Correct?
I believe it should update with Monday night's game live. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
and that last score is my favorite score right there. That one right there, just
the
scrolling
ones where
by.
the Patriots beat the Ravens.
Yep, my favorite one.
Not the favorite of my employers. I'll say that.
No, not at all. They were all your employers were not in a great mood yesterday.
Yeah.
But we're gonna start with your Broncos though, because
Okay.
unfortunately you were not in the greatest of mood about this game. Um, Again, we talked about it. Bo Nix threw 47 times for 352 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Adelia, you had a chance. I believe if you would have won this game, you clinched the number 1 seed, correct?
I don't know for sure on
Yeah,
that.
yeah. You would have been
Um,
13-2. I think you would have,
maybe.
but it
But you know what?
it was. Yeah.
I want to I want to complain about this game. I do, but I kind of can't at the same time because I'd rather the dog in the background is distracting me. Um,
Sorry.
I'd rather lose this game than lose in the playoffs. And I'd rather them get the loss out of the way now than in the playoffs. I mean, it doesn't really truly in the end matter if we have the number one seed or not. We're still ahead of the Chargers in the division. We're still in the number one spot in the standings. So it's not like it really hurt us immediately. But yeah, I just, it sucked watching that game after the last 11 weeks, 11 games in a row, and then this. But the Jaguars are a really good team, and they played really well. The defense went MIA in the second half. Like, I don't know what was going on with the defense yesterday. They could not stop the Jaguars to save their lives. And yeah, I'd like I said, I'd rather the loss be now than in the first round of the playoffs that they play.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of want to be hitting your stride right now. I mean, again, like you said, you're still in first. You're still ahead in the division. Uh, you're so this loss doesn't hurt you, but I think you want to just be running on all cylinders as far as going into the playoffs. Again, we talked about it. Bo Nix, I mean, 47 times. That's a lot.
He was playing from behind, so I understand why he was trying to throw the ball, but at the same time you're right, it's way too many times to throw the ball in a game, and I don't know. I have perspective on this game that I didn't have yesterday when I got so mad watching it I turned it off. So, um I it's more important to get the loss out of the way now because I figured a loss was coming at some point. Like, they've been on a roll, they've been on an incredible roll, but so many of those games have been tight and close, and so many come from behind victories and all of this stuff. I think that game was the first game this season where we lost having actually been behind at the start of the fourth quarter. Um, just, it sucks, but
Yeah,
better now than in a week or two.
yeah, and I think it snapped an 11 game home winning
11
streak
game 11 game winning streak. It snapped the
or
home
11
winning
game winning
streak
streak.
that
Yeah,
went back to last season. Well, the home winning streak went back to last season. So I don't know how many games in a row they'd won at home. Um but yeah, it
yeah,
is what it is. I'm not going to lose sleep about this yet. Now they go out there
yeah.
and they don't play well next week, and I might.
I
Or
mean, it's
this
against
week
Kansas
against the
City.
Chiefs. It's against
Yeah,
Kansas City, which is always hard. It's in Kansas City, which is always hard. But Kansas City's on their third quarterback now,
yeah.
so
In Kansas City, where people did not realize that Kansas City is in Missouri. Go
yes.
figure.
Uh, well, it's called Kansas City. People think it's in Kansas. That's the way it's been my whole life. There is a
Yeah,
Kansas City in Kansas, and that's where they'll be starting in 2031, apparently. But yeah,
yeah. Um, I know you said you knew a loss was coming, but you wanted to get it out of the way. Uh, Looking at the schedule, you have two more games left. You have Broncos, Chargers, both
or
uh,
Chiefs and
divisional
Chargers.
opponents.
Yeah,
Sorry, Chiefs and Chargers. Sorry,
we have
both
to beat the
divisional.
Chiefs, I think, to make that game against the Chargers be one the Chargers absolutely have to win. I don't know who the Chargers are playing this week. I don't remember. But
They are playing the Texans, who are playing well right now.
okay, so if the Texans beat the Chargers, then I think that game for the Chargers, if we beat Kansas City, I think that game against the Chargers in the last week of the regular season means nothing cuz we'd be up 2 games on them and they wouldn't be able to make up 2 games in one game. But um yeah, that could be a big game for the division title. The Broncos have clinched a playoff spot. They clinched that last week, so they're in the playoffs. So
It's just where they're going to be at now.
it's
They're
just
going
where
to be
they're going to be at
first.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think next week we'll probably be talking about all the playoff scenarios, if there's any, or looking ahead to the
Yeah.
playoffs, hopefully. Um, because I hope every division, every seed is wrapped up by then. Um, but these next two games, what do you want to see from the Broncos to kind of give you a good feeling going into the playoffs?
Much better defense, which I think they can do. I think they probably had the riot act read to them this weekend after that game because they just looked like they were giving up and like the offense wasn't giving up. They were trying. They weren't getting anywhere, but they were trying. Um, the defense was terrible. The offense needs to get more consistency. Bo Nix needs not to throw as much. Give the ball to RJ Harvey. He's proven to be very good filling in for J.K. Dobbins. So good, in fact, that I wonder if J.K. Dobbins is going to be back. So, yeah. I just want to see a more effort, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. When you're looking at this defense, obviously your offense needs to score, but the defense going into the playoffs, it like game plans change. You know, it becomes more of a the cold is affecting
Yeah.
gameplay, things like that. What are you guys ranked right now as far as defense? I'm not sure.
I don't know. I think Houston's still number one. We would be up there, but probably fell a little after this week's performance.
Yeah. You well, you were saying that you want to see um defense. Oh yeah, defense. You guys are fourth currently right now of
That's
total
still pretty
defense.
good. That's still pretty good.
That's
But
very
like
good.
they did nothing against Trevor Lawrence this weekend.
Um,
I don't
wow.
remember. Like I turned it off. I don't remember them getting a sack. I don't remember them getting an interception. I don't remember them getting anything.
You were over it. Denver, you actually lead the league in sacks.
Yes, by
60,
yes.
63 by a wide margin,
Yeah.
13.
There was some question about whether they were going to set the single season sack record this year,
What,
which I
what,
think
what number is
it's
that?
the 84 Bears that did it. I don't know the exact number. I can look it up real quick, but I think it
Yeah.
was the 84 Bears. But yeah, they were on a a pace to at least tie it, if not break it. Yeah, the single season team sack record is 72, set by the 84 Bears.
Okay. So, yeah, I mean, you're not that far off.
We're
You're,
not that far off. And, if they have really good games against whoever it is, the Chiefs are going to start at quarterback this week. And because I'm not convinced they're not going to try to sign someone. And against the Chargers, it's possible. They're
you
not
would
that
need,
far off.
yeah, you would need 10 sacks. I mean,
They've
with
had
Kansas City.
multiple games this year with multiple sacks, like 5, 6. There was a 9 sack game, one game this year. So
Yeah. I think individually, was it Miles Garrett needs like 2 sacks to,
I think he needs one
I think it's a
to
one
tie
to
it
tie
and
it.
then one to break it. Let me see.
No, like he's probably going to get it against the Steelers.
I mean, he might.
Because I think TJ is tied with Strahan.
Yeah. Strahan and TJ Watt, 22 and a half. Miles Garrett is at 22 right now. So he just
He needs
needs
a
a
one
half to
sack.
tie, one sack to set the record.
Mm.
The unofficial leader, Al Bubba Baker from the Detroit Lions, who got 23 sacks in 78, but they weren't official stats until 82, so he's not the leader.
That's the worst. Like,
That
oh,
is.
we don't count that.
Why they didn't count that, I don't know, but
Who knows? Um, if you guys are able to win next week, Chargers lose, you guys clinch the first seed. Are you sitting? Do you feel like, do you want to sit your guys for the last game of the season? Do you want them to only play a half? We've had this issue with, like, ring rust. What are you kind of looking at? Are you hoping that the Chargers put up a fight to get
I
you?
think that you put you sit some guys, but maybe not all of them. Like I don't know. I don't even know if I know who our backup quarterback is. Um, Let
uh,
me look this up. Jarrett Stidham. I should have known that.
Stidham.
Um, yeah, Jarrett Stidham is serviceable, but I don't want him playing in a game that might have anything riding on it. Um, which obviously I don't think he would be playing in the game if with something riding on it, unless Bo Nix got injured or something, which thankfully he hasn't. Um, I don't know, man. It's hard to say just keep playing them because it's such a physical game, and um you want to give the guys as much rest as you possibly can going into the playoffs. But if they get the number 1 seed, they have a bye week. They don't
Yeah.
play the first week of the playoffs.
So you want
So,
so you want to try to win and hope the Chargers lose so you can get that bye.
yeah. I'm going to look at the scenarios. Um what might be going on here? We still have a
Well, why should
66% chance to win the division according to what I'm looking at. Um
do you think Bo Nix gets to 4,000 yards?
how close is he?
3,608.
If he plays both games, yeah. If he doesn't, no. Um, I don't know what our playoff. This is giving me errors. This website. There we go. We're still
Well,
expected to win the division and firmly on track for the AFC's number 1 seed. This doesn't tell me what the scenario is, though. What is the scenario?
while she's looking that up, right now the Monday night game, San Francisco's up 14-7 on the Colts. Did let's see if Phillip Rivers did he throw a touchdown or was it a let's see box score? Phillip Rivers did throw a touchdown to
Wow. Grandpa
he's
Rivers.
has 109 yards right now.
That's crazy.
Brock Purdy has thrown 2 touchdowns. Oh, yeah, one to Demarcus Robinson, one to Christian McCaffrey.
Okay. So according to this, which is from CBS Sports, it just says we're ahead of New England based on common games record. So we're like got the same record as New England, but we're
Mm.
ahead of them because of the common games on the schedule. We're 6-0. The Patriots are 5-1 or
Wow,
four
that's
and one.
crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
With the Patriots' only loss being to the Raiders in week 1. Um
Thank the Raiders.
yeah, thank the Raiders. It doesn't give me clinching scenarios. I hate all these things that'll give you like where you're at, but not how you clinch.
Wow. Phillip Rivers is driving the Colts down the field and they are in the red zone. That is funny.
No, that's 2024. Oh, here we go. Week 16. I want week 17. Well, this isn't updated yet, I guess, because week 16 isn't over yet, because there's still a Monday night game. So,
We'll have next week. We'll have like kind of the whole scenario.
yeah.
Um, I'll kind of see where everybody's at. Um, but I think Adelia, you have to be happy because, like you said,
I am happy. No, I'm totally happy with the way the season's gone.
yeah,
It's just the way that game went wasn't the best.
got it. Got it. Well, like you said, next week you play the Kansas City, who's not fully healthy. I think it should be an easy win for you guys. It is a divisional game, so you never know. But it is. It's on Christmas Day too. I
Yeah.
think you should be fine. I think you
I
should
think
be
we'll
good.
be fine.
I think you should be fine. Oh, that's at 5:15. Hmm. Isn't that going to? Isn't that going to be
I can watch it while you're doing the watch
okay?
along.
Okay, you have to keep me updated
I will.
during the game. Um, okay, so Broncos number one in the AFC West, number one in the AFC, looking good. Hopefully, Christmas Day doesn't give Adelia anxiety. Easy win.
It was giving me more anxiety when Patrick Mahomes wasn't injured.
Right, exactly. Um, but that game yesterday I got to watch gave me anxiety like crazy.
I bet.
And we will talk Steelers and Detroit Lions. Um, yeah, like it says, holy chaos. We'll get into the DK Metcalf stuff. We'll get into all that, but I mean, this was a game that a lot of people said the Steelers had no shot of winning.
Mm-hmm.
Jared Goff threw 54 times for 300, 400, 364 yards, and you're thinking you with three touchdowns, you go, yeah, they won that game. 100% they win that game. But their running game, they had 15 yards for the whole game.
That is awful.
Jameer Gibbs ran it 7 times for 2 yards. David Montgomery 4 times for 14 yards.
I'm sure Detroit Lions fans are screaming about that, but you know who else is screaming about that? Fantasy football fans.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. For sure. I mean, whoever had Goth was like, this is the best day ever.
Yeah. But whoever
Uh,
had Gibbs and Montgomery was like, what the hell?
yeah. And on the other side, Jalen Warren, 14 rushes for 143 yards. Quick trivia: three of the touchdowns that were ran by the running backs were all exactly 45 yards. Um, that's pretty funny. So all three of their running touchdowns were 45-yard plays. Um, 45, 40, yeah, 45 for Jalen Warren, 45 for Jalen Warren, 45 for Kenneth Gainwell, which was a crazy pass. I don't know if you saw this video. We didn't get a clip of it, but they throw the ball. It's pass interference, but Kenneth Gainwell lands on the field. The ball hits his forearm, doesn't hit the ground, bounces back into his hand. He's never touched. He gets up and runs it in for a touchdown. Um, wild play, and I think that touchdown, um, because the Lions had kind of came back, uh, and that touchdown tied the game and really put us back in the game, and then we were able to get a safety after that. Some big plays that happened. Obviously, was that was one of the plays, but we're going to talk about the two OPI calls that were made.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you were able. Did you see those plays or?
No, because I didn't get the game. And
Okay,
I didn't have a time to watch the highlights today.
gotcha. Well, the one was a pick play, and we see pick plays all the time, and I have a problem with the pick play because it's like, yes, it is a. If you make it obvious that's the pick play, I think it should be called.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I think it'll be in one of my takeaways this week from the NFL. But if it's an obvious pick play, like the flag needs to be thrown. And I know people don't like that, and they get upset. But the Amon St. Brown OPI. One of my things I like to
That
do
I
after
did
a game.
see.
Yeah, one of the things I like to do after games is like to go to in opposing streams or videos and watch their reaction to something. And I watched this video, Adelia, where this Detroit fan looked right into that camera and said, "That's not passing interference." That man ran up to Jalen Ramsey, pushed him in the chest, and
Yeah.
broke the other way. How is that not passing interference?
That's offensive pass interference. I'm sorry. It
Hundred
is.
hundred percent, 100%. And it sucks that it happened that he did it at the end of the game, the most important part of the game. Now the ref, bless his soul, really had a hard time explaining what happened. He said the pass interference negated uh, the flag. Like he didn't understand what he was saying, but the gist of it was OPI. Gibbs tossed the ball to Goff, who scored a touchdown, but because it was passing interference, offensive pass interference, and the time had run off the clock, you couldn't do another play. Passing interference, the touchdown doesn't count. Game over.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, and I was watching it when it happened though, Adelia, when he said the rule in the field is a touchdown. Detroit went nuts, and he goes, however, passing interference. Like, why would you start with that? Like the whole stadium was like, yeah, we got it, and then he's like,
I
however,
know that's how they do it in soccer too. When there's a VAR call that gets overturned, they're like,
uh-huh.
"What happened was we had a goal. However," and they just like wait for the beat to say the "however" part. It's so funny, but
Yeah, and if
not
you were
if you're a
watching
fan
it,
of that team.
exactly, if you were watching it live, like it was crazy because you just hear the stadium go nuts, and
Hmm.
then when he says however, the stadium just goes quiet. um, look, both play like the pick play, the pass interference. They're both pass interference, and you have to call those, especially if they're obvious. No, there's
Yeah.
sometimes they're not as obvious, so it happens. Like I see when you watch slow replay, I see people holding all the time, like 24/7. They
Oh
don't
yeah.
call it
Every
though.
play looks like somebody's holding.
Exactly. If it's not as obvious, like I'm not saying let it go, but like if you don't see it, you don't see it. But
Exactly.
when it's obvious passing
Yeah.
interference, you have to call it. And those were both obvious passing interference calls.
Hmm.
Uh, you know, I think there were some other plays. There was a same kind of play called on the Steelers for pick play where they called pass interference. And I was didn't like it, but I mean at the same time it's the call. You have to throw the flag, and they threw it. It cost the Steelers 4 points because they had scored a touchdown. I think they ended up kicking a field goal.
Hmm.
Um, I I just think that when calls are made and it's obvious, because you always hear that old adage, um, you can't make a call like that in that time of the game. Like if it's holding, it's holding. If it's
Yeah.
pass interference, it's pass interference. If it's obvious, if
Exactly.
it's offsides, things like that, like you have to make the call. And those
Yeah.
calls were obvious. And I think that Steelers played a really good game, controlled time of possession. Um, they got to Goth. Um, first downs ended up being even. But they were able to basically shut that running game down. Like when that tandem of Gibbs and Montgomery only have 15 yards,
Yeah.
um, that's really good. And the Steelers are been the last 3 weeks. They're on a 3 game winning streak. Have looked really well defensively, even though they've given up some yards. Um, they've looked very very good. They just got to close it out because the last game against Miami, same thing. Fourth quarter, they start kind of making a run. This game, same thing. They were up, and they just Goff was able to make a run. And you got to put teams away defensively, and not let them be that close in the game because we could have easily lost that one. Um, and the Steelers, were able to play good defense. They got lucky on both of those calls that the ref made them. And I see a lot of like Skip Bayless, some other players saying, "Oh, you can't make that call," things like that. I hate that. I hate when they do that because it's like if it's a foul, you
Yep.
have to make that call. Like it
Yep.
doesn't matter when in the game it is, you have to make that call. If you're going to make that call in the first quarter, you have to make that call in the fourth quarter.
Absolutely.
And so, go ahead.
I was just gonna say refs shouldn't swallow the whistle. Like I know that's a thing that happens like in overtime and certain different sports and stuff like that. But if it's a if it's a foul, call the foul. Like
Exactly.
if you're going to like commit a foul and it not get called, that's just going to embolden you to commit another foul and do whatever you have to do to win. And like I'm not saying you shouldn't do whatever you have to do to win, but when you foul someone, you should get the flag or the free throws or whatever for it. And yeah, it was definitely offensive pass interference in my opinion. It was a foul. They threw the flag. They had every right to throw the flag. Now, if for some reason they hadn't seen it or something, that would have been insane because like their job is to follow these guys and especially the guy that the ball's being thrown to. So, but they saw it. They called it. People need to deal with the fact that the referees called that right.
Yeah, and again, watching videos of fans reacting to it, it's just hilarious to me because you want that called in the first quarter, but you don't want it called in the fourth quarter. That doesn't make any
Exactly.
sense. So it is what it is. Steelers got the win, a big win. They are now, I believe, 9-6. Uh, they play Cleveland next week, which is a divisional game. It is at home. I think if they win that game, I believe they clinch the division and get to go to the playoffs.
I found playoff scenarios.
Okay, cool. There we
They're
go.
just not the official ones from the NFL yet because the week 16 isn't over yet. So they haven't put out week 17 playoff scenarios. For the Steelers, you can clinch a playoff berth and the AFC North title with a win over the Browns on Sunday. But you might also know your fate before you play the game because the Ravens play against the Packers on Saturday night. And if the Ravens lose, you clinch the AFC North.
Division. Okay. So we'll be hate watching on Saturday. Love it.
Yeah. And then for the Broncos, they will be the AFC West champs and the number one seed if they beat the Chiefs and the Chargers. But they can also win the division in week 17 if they beat Kansas City and the Chargers lose against the Texans on Saturday.
Possibility.
Yeah. So Broncos have to win their last two games, and that's that.
Yeah. And Steelers will be playing the Browns, who haven't been looking well. Like we talk about, Miles Garrett's looking for this, all-time sack leader. So I hope we don't give that up to him.
Mm-hmm.
Shador's playing, who hasn't looked the greatest.
No.
It is at home. That's good. But unfortunately, the Steelers will be without their top wide receiver, DK Metcalf. He got into an altercation with a Detroit Lions fan who has been identified as Ryan Kennedy. Um, and we have a video of it.
Yep. Let's cue that up.
Let's replay it one more time. Yeah, so he grabs him, and I
Oh.
think I
Oop.
think the
I hit
what?
the wrong
No,
thing.
you're fine.
There we go. Grabs him,
So
hits him.
there was a yeah. Now I watched a little bit. There's a little video, a little longer. DK walks over there, and there is, if you replay the video, you can see a cop, security guard standing there, and there might even be a security guard standing behind the gentleman, or at least a stadium employee, because it looks like they have a lanyard on.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and nobody steps in at all. Um, I don't know if each team rolls with their own security on the field, meaning there's Steeler security and also Detroit security. Um, there's a cop who has a ton of power, yet
Yeah.
did not step in. Um, what we know so far, and it's a he said, she said, even though it's two males.
It's a he
He
said, he said.
Yeah, he's a he said. Um, Ryan is saying that he called him by his government name, and DK didn't like it. D, DK DKAYLIN. DKLin? DKLin?
Don't know. how to say it
D-
exactly.
yeah, Zachariah Metcalf is what he's claiming that he called him.
Why would you call him that for a start?
Well, so backstory, kind of what's going on. Last year, and I want to make sure before I say this, so I'm just going to look it up before I say this. Yep. So last year, the Seahawks played Detroit.
Okay.
Apparently, DK Metcalf has had a run-in with this fan and reported it to security NFL officials that he was having an issue.
Okay.
Um, Fast forward to this year, something happened. We don't know what. Fan is claiming, "Hey, I just called him by his first name." DK is saying that um, who has spoken to a few people is saying that this fan called him the N word
Mm-hmm.
and said called his mom the C word.
Good grief. The fans denying this. Obviously, they put
The
out
fans denied us.
the fan put out a statement through a Michigan law firm, and I'm immediately like, why do you have a lawyer? Um, Saying that the allegations of him saying misogynistic or hate based language during the incident are untrue and completely false.
DK was given a 2 game suspension. He is going to appeal it. I don't know how it's going to go. This is a big PR nightmare for the NFL because obviously NFL player putting hands on a fan is a
Fan,
big no.
yeah.
Here is how I look at it. When I saw the video, saw it live, everything like that. The the gentleman has a DK Metcalf jersey. I don't know if you replay the video, he has a yellow jersey next to him. There's another angle. I think I sent it to you, but it would be from the seeing the fan front
Mm-hmm.
side with DK walking him. There's a jersey hanging over the banister. It's a yellow DK Metcalf jersey.
He
The
baited
fan
him
had
over
all.
there, basically.
Well, the fan had also supposedly had said that he just wanted DK to sign the jersey. Why would you want a opposing player to sign the jersey? Um, I mean, you could be fans of any players, so
Yeah,
maybe he was a fan.
yeah.
Seems a little weird, but okay. Let's just say he's a fan. There's a history of an altercation with this gentleman.
Mm-hmm.
It was reported. I don't think DK just reacts like that for being called his full name. There's other
I don't
stuff
think
that
so
happened.
either. Yeah,
Now he's gonna deny it, things like that.
of course.
Wait, and like you said, he's already got a lawyer. Okay, a little sus. Probably gonna he's gonna get a paycheck on it. But that fan, the Detroit Lions, if they're about player safety, should absolutely kick that fan from ban him from being in the stadium ever again. Because because yes, I understand NFL players shouldn't put hands on a um, on a player, but also too, where do we draw the line? Like, where do we draw the line with how fans can talk to athletes?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I mean, this is something that's a problem in all sports, not just the NFL. I mean, you hear some of the things that are shouted at players from people sitting courtside in NBA games, and it's like, what on earth even possessed you to say that to someone? Um, I think that you obviously can't say whatever the hell you feel like to someone and then just call it trash talk. I obviously also think that, like, this guy probably said more than just his full government name. But again, if you just want DK Metcalf to sign your jersey, why are you calling him by his full government name? Like, that's not a way to
Also,
address him.
also in the middle of a game.
In the middle of a game, you are not his friend. He is publicly known as DK Metcalf. Call him DK. Don't say his full name. That's very suspicious to me. And like, this is all like, regardless of what the guy said to him, DK shouldn't have hit him. He shouldn't have. But
Yeah.
I also understand when incidents like this happen and players can't help themselves from doing something like that. Because they're human beings and they're going to react. And if this guy said what is circulating that he said, he called him the N word and called his mother the C word, which is the worst word you can use to describe a woman, I get why he hit him. But he should have known better than to do that.
It's the old I don't condone it, but I get why. you know, and
Exactly.
and if there's a history here, like DK
Well,
is saying, then
like
that to me is a big problem.
yeah, DK reported this fan to Seattle security in the past. He should have also told Pittsburgh security before they went there, "Hey, there's this fan that likes to provoke me from the stands. He's a problem." He should have said something to them. I don't know if that happened. But yeah, um DK suspended for 2 games according to the NFL for conduct detrimental to the NFL for initiating a physical confrontation with a fan. According to the NFL release, Metcalf's actions violate the league policy that specifies players may not enter the stands or otherwise confront fans at any time on game day, and if a player makes unnecessary physical contact with a fan in any way that constitutes unsportsmanlike conduct or presents crowd control issues and or risk of injury, he will be held accountable. Metcalf's going to appeal the suspension. I don't think he's going to win the appeal.
I don't think he's going to win the appeal, but they are going to point out Lamar Jackson hitting a fan earlier this year and getting no suspension.
Yeah.
Um, and again, I don't condone what DK did, but I understand. But also,
Yeah.
too, you can't suspend one person and not suspend
Not
an,
suspend
not
another.
not suspend one person and then suspend another. For
Yeah.
now, if he had connected with that hit, like a full on Malice at the Palace hit, that's a different story.
Yeah.
He grazed him. He pushed him off. He grabbed him by his shirt. Okay. I think any lawyer that's going to try to take this to try to get some money, he may get some money, but you are, when you buy a ticket, yes, you're allowed to heckle and things like that. I'm a Indiana Fever fan, and there was an incident earlier this year with a player, I believe, Alicia Gray, where she started yelling at a fan. They pulled the fan off, questioned him, had dialogue, and then let him go back. It was said by our people around him that what he said was, "She doesn't play defense." To that kind of
Yeah.
thing. That's heckling. Calling someone, cussing somebody out. Even then, okay, but talking about someone's mom, calling them racial, homophobic, you know,
Any type of
words,
slur, any type of
and
hateful language.
yeah, that's different. And again, I don't condone it, but at the same time, when when are fans going to start being held accountable?
Yeah.
Because yes, you can talk, you can talk shit and be like, "Hey, you suck," "Hey, you can't catch a ball," things like that. When you start talking about somebody personally, because all I keep hearing, like I've all these videos I watched today of like, ESPN people and things like that, were like, "Oh well, DK needs to be able to control himself," and if you would you be able to control yourself if someone showed up to your job and just started talking crazy stuff to you? No.
Yeah.
Okay. And the fact that if security is around and hears this person saying these things, you need to step in before it escalated. You didn't. And it escalated to the point that now we're in the situation we're at. You know, you can be a security guard and take initiative and say, "Hey, man, if you're going to continue to talk like that, we're going to kick you out."
Yeah.
If it's because I hate this idea of people getting mad and saying, "Well, what? We're not allowed to say anything." Booing somebody, telling someone they suck, telling someone catch the ball, um, things like that. That's
Mm-hmm.
that's different from telling someone you're a piece of shit. You're this, you're that, calling someone a slur, talking about someone's mother. Like that is different because that has nothing to do with the game. If you're like,
Yeah.
yo, you suck, you can't catch a ball, you don't know how to run a route, you got stone hands. It's about the game. Okay, you can heckle, but if you're talking about something that's not part of the game, then security needs to step in and say, hey, because they hear them. They're
Mhm.
right there. I've worked security. Yes, it's loud in there, but you can hear when someone's yelling something, and you need to step in and take initiative because this could have been avoided. They could have stepped in front of DK and say, "Hey, man, don't interact with the fan," things like that, and they could have stepped in with the fan and said, "Yo, you need to stop."
Yeah.
And none of that was done. And now DK, unfortunately, again, someone might say, "Well, it's because you're a Steelers fan." I think everybody, any sport where you're doing this kind of situation. Now, if it's heckling, straight up heckling, and you snap, that's a you problem. Someone's
Yeah.
like, "Dang, you suck. You can't hit a, you can't block anybody. You can't catch a ball," and you get crazy and start getting mad. That's a you problem. But if
Mhm.
it's if someone's talking about you personally, yeah, I'm gonna take it personally. And DK took it personally. And this guy now, you know, might get paid. Okay, but if I'm a lawyer, I wouldn't. You're gonna get some scummy person that's gonna be able to get him some money, and it's ridiculous that you shouldn't be rewarded for being a piece of shit. You
Yeah.
know, but unfortunately, that's how it is these days. Obviously, look at everything we're dealing with. You get rewarded for being a piece of shit, and it's stupid. So
Mhm.
I hope he appeals, and I hope they reduce it to one game. Um,
He is appealing. I I don't know, man. I don't know that they can reduce the suspension. Even though the Lamar incident happened earlier this year, this is the kind of thing the NFL has to take a serious stand on. I was surprised Lamar didn't get suspended. But I don't think the NFL is going to let themselves be seen to be like, okay, we're going to come down hard and then reduce it on appeal.
yeah, no, I get I get that, but then you need to also then start setting regulations against fans
No, I
to
agree.
prevent it
I
to
agree.
prevent this. You know,
Yeah.
because I know I was reading an article they were saying, well, what's stopping another player from doing this? And it's like, okay, I understand that, but at the same time, what are you doing to protect players?
Yeah.
You
It
could tell
has to
someone,
be
all,
both. It has
yeah,
to be both. It's not just protect the fans from the players. You also have to protect the players from the fans.
exactly, and you can't put it all on the player. There needs to be accountability for the fans too.
Yeah, absolutely.
So but we'll hear more and see hopefully what happens throughout the week. It's gonna be tough because even if it feels it's Christmas week, people are probably already gone. I don't know how they're gonna do it through Zoom or how they do it, or because I
I
don't know
don't
if you
know.
go to it's gonna be very interesting. Um, all right, let's move on to some takeaways from this week. We each got three. Do you want to go back and forth, or do you want us to do your three and then I'll do my three? Or
Let's go back and forth.
okay, go ahead and start us off. What's your first
Uh,
takeaway?
Jaguars are peaking at the right time.
That is hilarious because that was my first one too. So there we go.
This was their sixth straight win. Um, that's their longest win streak since 1999. I read. Um, Trevor Lawrence has been really, really good the last couple weeks, especially, but throughout the whole stretch. And yeah, I this is the Jaguars hitting their stride at the right time of the season.
Yeah, I said the Jaguars are legit because I
They
thought if,
are.
if if Broncos were able to beat the Jaguars, they're a legit team. But I think if the Broncos could beat them soundly, they could show how dominant they were. But the Jags were able to put it to the Broncos, and that's a scary team. You don't want to go to Jacksonville to play.
Exactly.
Um, and have to play them on the road with all the weapons they have.
Yeah.
What's your number two takeaway?
The AFC playoff race is wide open. Like we talked about scenarios earlier. Um, the Jaguars and the Patriots and the Chargers and the Texans are still like in the mix for home field advantage. And it's just, I don't remember a season like this one, at least in recent memory, where there's been so many teams that are possible to have home field advantage. Maybe not throughout all the playoffs, but at least through part of the playoffs in at this stage of the season. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Totally, 100% agree with that one. My takeaway from my second takeaway is there's no clear MVP. I thought if
Yeah.
Knicks had won this game against Jacksonville and played well, that could separate them. Uh, may they came back against the Ravens, but even then it didn't feel any type of way. So it's like, who do you give the MVP to? There's just no clear MVP right now. There's nobody playing at that like oh my god level, or where you're saying, you know what, if that team didn't have this person, they wouldn't be in the position that they are. It feels like
Yeah.
it doesn't feel like that. So I'll still stick with my Drake May, Bo Nix, and Matt Stafford as my MVPs right now. But none of them have separated each other because they all had came off some losses. May won his game. I don't remember if the Rams won their game.
The Rams did not
They
win. They
they
lost to the
lost.
Seahawks.
Yeah. So maybe May has started to separate himself, but even then, I don't feel there's a big separation.
Yeah. I agree completely. There doesn't seem to be a clear MVP this year, and that's because a lot of people have been playing really well. But yeah, I kind of agree that Drake May's probably the leader in the clubhouse right now. We'll see. My third was injuries, injuries, and more serious injuries. Gardner Minshew apparently did not tear his ACL. That was what they feared.
Mhm.
But there's been so many ACL injuries in the last 2 weeks. And it just so many injuries overall. I mean, like, I didn't see any game this weekend where someone wasn't carted off or something serious happened. Pat Bryant was carted off in the Broncos game. He had to go to the hospital. Eventually, they released him. Just lots and lots of injuries this year, and it's affecting a lot of how teams are playing. Because like it's not just injuries to members of the team, but it's injuries to some really key people on the team.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, and knocked out. It's hurt a lot of teams. Obviously, Indianapolis had Daniel Jones,
Yep.
and they, now they've kind of slid. Even though Old Man Rivers has thrown two touchdowns,
Mm-hmm.
uh, you're not expecting that much from him. But yeah, I totally agree with you. Injuries have been a big thing this year.
Yeah.
Um, Anything else? Sorry, I think you were
No,
gonna say
that
something
was
else.
all.
All
That
right.
was all.
Yeah. And then my third takeaway is if it's a foul, throw the flag. I think we've gotten too away from the rules. Um, if it's a rule, enforce it. Doesn't matter what time, what part of the game it is. Doesn't matter if you know another ref miss it. If a ref catches it, throw the flag. And I think fans need to stop complaining about it. Like you can you can't sit here and say, well, they don't usually throw that flag. That doesn't matter because it's a foul. You just didn't want it to go against you.
Mm-hmm.
I've been on that end too. It sucks. But if it's a foul, it's a foul. Stop complaining. Stop using the excuse that nobody should throw a flag in those moments. They absolutely that's when they should be throwing the flags more than anything. If
Mm-hmm.
in tight games where there's a obvious foul committed, and I hate when we do that. So
Yeah, absolutely. 100% agree. TV's bleeding through a little bit from the background.
yeah, no problem.
Um,
All
let's
right,
move on to our predictions.
yeah, let's do it. And look at this dope thing that dude has come up with. This is amazing. I love it. Tail of the tape though is kind of weird, but
Yeah, I don't know why it says tailor the tape. Let me fix that. It's the default thing because apparently it's supposed to have stats. But yeah.
All right,
Let let's start with
what's up, Ada Bills?
hey, pay the
Thank you for
bills.
joining.
Thanks for joining us. Um Cowboys and Commanders on Christmas Day.
You know what's crazy is we thought both of these teams were going to be really good, um, and they have been god awful.
Yeah.
Obviously, the injury to Jaden Daniels has really affected Commanders, but what is the Cowboys' excuse? Two of the best receivers in the league. You have a receiver right now that's leading the NFL, I believe, in
Yeah.
yards. You're 6-8-1. Wildness, and they might finish under seven. They might finish under 500 this year, which is crazy because I think they were in the playoffs last year. I will have to check with Caleb, but that is wild. I'll take the Cowboys in this game. I think the Cowboys will actually finish 8-8 this year. Eight
Maybe.
eight and one. That's crazy.
Maybe.
Who do you got?
I got the Cowboys as well. I just trust Dak a little more than I trust Marcus Mariota. Not that that's much, but Lions and Vikings.
Excuse me. Excuse me about that. Yeah, Lions are now fighting for the playoffs lives. They were in the NFC Championship game last year, and now they might miss the playoffs.
I don't think they were
Um,
the NFC Championship game. I think they were eliminated the round before. But yeah, um,
they,
they
they
might miss the
they lost to the
playoffs now.
49ers. They lost to the 49ers, right?
No, that was the year before.
Hmm. Wow. We have smartphones. I don't know why we don't check. Um, yeah, I think they're coming. They're coming off a tough loss. Um, the Vikings. I don't know what's going on with them. Um, and no, this was this year. Yeah, yeah, they lost in the NFC Championship game
To the Eagles?
to.
Because the Eagles are the Super Bowl champs.
Oh, okay, so that was. Oh, that's 20. Why does it say 2023 for?
Because it was the 2023 season. You're looking for the 2024 season.
No, I know that, but I put 2024.
But it was in January of 2024. So that's probably why that
No, no,
popped up
no,
like that.
no. It's saying 2023 NFC Championship game, and I put 24. I don't know. Okay. Oh, it was Washington. Okay, so it was
Yeah.
Washington.
I was going to say, it was not Detroit. Detroit lost the one before.
Yeah. I'm taking the Lions on this one.
Yeah, I'm taking the Lions too. They're fighting for their lives as far as the playoff goes. I believe they were eliminated from division contention. The Vikings are just not good. I don't have any faith in JJ McCarthy, and yeah. So Broncos and Chiefs.
Broncos and Chiefs. I mean, this should be an easy win for you. This is on Christmas Day.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, this
Broncos.
is on Christmas Day. Oh, because Saturday's after Christmas. Yeah, I'm taking Broncos.
Yeah. Texans and Chargers.
This is a good game. Two top teams, really good defense, really good offense. Because you need the Chargers to lose,
Yep,
I'm gonna take the Chargers.
you would. I'm going to take the Texans.
Let's see what happens.
Baltimore and Green Bay.
Baltimore and Green Bay. Packers come off a tough loss to Chicago. Obviously, Baltimore, same thing. Pats, they have the lead, lost that game. Obviously, I need the Ravens to lose, so I'm going to take the Packers, and you're going to take the Ravens.
Well, I have to keep certain people happy. I think it is very possible that the Packers win this game, but yeah, I'll take the Ravens.
Touche.
Cardinals and Bengals.
My God, I mean, just put me to sleep now.
I know,
Put
right?
me, put me to sleep now. I guess the Bengals,
I'm going to take the Bengals because I believe in Joe Burrow a little more than I believe in whoever is playing quarterback for the Cardinals because it's not Kyler
right?
Murray. So, yeah, I'll take the Bengals.
I mean, would that even be better?
Steelers and Browns.
I mean, to win the division, get a playoff berth, you got to win this game. Yes, you're going to be missing your top wide receiver possibly. but your defense has been playing well. It's against Shador Sanders, who hasn't been playing well. Aaron Rodgers has looked a lot better than I thought he was at
Mm-hmm.
this time of the year.
Yeah.
But you got to keep Miles Garrett off him. This is at home, um, so I'm gonna take the Steelers.
I'm gonna take the Steelers as well. Um, I just have no faith in the Browns whatsoever. Saints and Titans.
Another one. Put me to sleep. Good God.
I'm gonna go with the Titans. I picked the Titans to beat Kansas City this week, and I had some people in our Discord tell me I was insane, and then the Titans destroyed Kansas City this week. Not that that means much without Patrick Mahomes, but still, the Titans are
It doesn't
playing
matter.
pretty well. The Titans are playing pretty well. The Saints are the Saints, so I'm gonna take the Titans.
Yeah, but 3-12 versus 5-10. I'm gonna go Saints.
Okay, Jacksonville and Indianapolis. This should be good.
It should be. I don't know if it's going to be.
Yeah.
Colts are on that trajectory to be the take the AFC South. Yeah, South. And the Jan Jones injury. Right now, they are, I believe, down right now. Yeah, they're down 10 to the San Francisco 49ers. I'm going to take the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Okay. Buccaneers and Dolphins.
What could have been? I mean, Buccaneers were riding high, and now they just look awful. Dolphins have looked better, but then they had the disaster game against us.
Yeah.
And then they got blown out by the Bengals. I'm going to take the Buccaneers.
I'm gonna take the Bucks too. Um, don't really know where the Dolphins are going without Tua as their quarterback, or who even is going to be playing. So, Patriots and Jets. This is an easy one.
Yeah, this is easy. Jets all day. No, Patriots.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Patriots. Seattle and Carolina.
Carolina needs this win. They need a win
They do.
so I think they're going to pull it off. So I'm going to take the Carolina.
Yeah, I'm going to take Carolina too. I think that this is at home, according to what I'm looking at. So, yeah, I think they can get it done. Giants and Raiders.
Now, here's the funny part. Neither team wants to win.
Exactly.
So, is Ferris calling this game?
I don't know if Ferris is doing play-by-play for this game or not.
I want him to do play by play. Just the most worst game ever, and then hope they win.
Yeah.
I the Giants need to lose. I'm gonna take the Giants, but they need to lose because they want to get the number one pick.
I'm going to take the Giants too, simply because I cannot bring myself to choose the Raiders. Eagles and Bills.
Big game here. Big game here. Um, Bills have not looked great, but Eagles have not looked great either. I guess I take the Bills.
This is at Buffalo. Um, I'm going to take the Bills too. And then the Sunday night game is the Bears against the 49ers.
Well, with the way it looks right now, 49ers are going to win, so they'll both be 11-4, trying to get the number one seed. Who do I trust more, Caleb Williams or Brock Purdy? I'll take the 49ers.
I'm going to go Bears. I just I really like the way the Bears have been playing this year, so let's go with the Bears.
All right. And there we go. Um, Christmas game is your game. Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay. Um, yeah,
There's 3
gonna
games
be.
on Christmas Day. There's 3.
Why so many? I don't
I
care.
don't know, and I don't know why they think anyone is going to like that's an NBA fan is going to be watching them. They're trying to steal the NBA's thunder from Christmas. They're going to send out a press release saying how many people watch the game on Netflix, and it's going to be more than the people watch the games for the NBA, simply because there's more NFL fans than NBA fans. But
I see what you did
Christmas
there.
Day
Try
on
to.
NBA,
Yeah.
Christmas Day in the NBA is so special. I'll be like, other than the Broncos game, I will be watching the NBA games.
Yeah, I see what you did there. He's trying to steal their thunder. I see what you did there.
Whatever.
All right, we're gonna get out of here. STV talk. I'm too tired. It's been a long
Yeah,
day, and we were
it's
already
been a long
gone.
day too.
So we're gonna get out of here. Adelia, let everybody know where they can find all the links and all the information to follow all the shows, help us grow the channels, and support us any way they can.
There are links in the description of this episode if you are watching on YouTube. If you are watching on Twitch, it's letsgetreadynetwork.com. The GFBR section of the website is not up. It will be up by this weekend. But the post-credit section of the website is up. So check that out there. And you can find Suge on the Christmas Eve great LGRN Christmas movie showdown over on the post credits, thepostcredits.com to get to that channel. That is premiering at 11 a.m. Pacific on Christmas Eve. Do check it out. It was a lot of fun. It's a little over an hour. We had a blast, and I went full game show host for it. So check it out.
It was really fun. I actually thought we were gonna go like 3 hours, but we
I thought
didn't.
so too, but we didn't.
So that
I
was a good
I
thing.
considered when putting together the format, putting a time limit on how long you could debate, and then I was like, no, we'll get this done in 2 hours, and we got it done in a little over an hour. So
There we go. We surprised ourselves.
we did.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody that is in the chat. Thank you, everybody that is watching this on replay. Really appreciate it. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Make
Thanks to
sure
the audio
to
feed listeners.
thanks to audio feed listeners. Thank you to everybody that supports the channel. Really appreciate it. If we don't, we will see you next week. Before the new year. Are we gonna do a show next week? Should we?
I don't
We'll
know
talk
yet.
about it.
We'll talk about
We'll
it.
talk about it. But if we don't, have a great new year. Have a Merry Christmas. And please be safe no matter what. You guys have a wonderful night, and we are out of here.
Bye.